So what on earth made you decide to take a Triumph Toledo 1300 and put a 4-litre engine in it?
Well, I generally do a rolling start.
And a sliding start as well. It's quite lively, Neil.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah. Swallows are nesting in here. They do tend to make it a dreadful mess.
Neil,
Well,
little Triumph Toledo.
it is, yeah.
Little economy car, isn't it? Sort of 1300cc, sort of, I don't know, vaguely 414 or so, a bit smaller really.
They were
isn't it?
smaller, yeah.
Yeah. So, not a performance car by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they were really a granddad's machine.
Will from Practical Performance Car here. This video is brought to you in conjunction with AliExpress. Okay, so this is the Asdome M550 Pro dash cam from AliExpress.com. And in the box we have user manual. Now this is the main camera, forward-facing camera. So this one faces forward here. This one faces into the cabin, so you've got a record of what's happening in the cabin as well, which is nice if you're on a road trip and you want to record it. And then also, along with all the cables that you need to connect this lot together, you get a rear-facing camera. So you're not only recording what's going on in front of the car, but with this, you're recording what goes on behind as well. So if there's any kind of accident or any kind of threatening behaviour on the road, you've got it covered. So let's go and install it. It's very easy to install. It takes about 10 minutes. And I've managed to conceal the cable all the way to the back, which goes to the rear camera. Got the rear camera here on the rear glass. I'm going to tidy the cable up here later on, but for the time being I'm keen to have a go with it. AliExpress's summer sale has started. Many products you can enjoy up to 80% discount. They're also having a flash sale with products at just £1. Participate in this shake and you can win a mysterious prize. Hurry up and start your summer journey. We've got some exclusive discount codes for Practical Performance Car fans, but stocks and time are limited. The codes are on the screens now and you can use the ones that suit your needs. The AliExpress Cashback Challenge is coming. I'll leave a link to the team in the description area. Once you join Practical Performance Car team and shop on AliExpress, you will earn points and have 5% cashback. As your points increase, you can unlock up to 10% total cashback and save up to £450 cashback. Once you're in, it's game on. You can even invite your friends and family to join the Practical Performance Car team. The more people, the more cashback we all get. So rally a squad and let's win together. Joining Team Practical Performance Car is super simple. Here's how. Click the link in my description, download the AliExpress app if you haven't already, and search for the keyword practical. Or just scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.
People think that bought them when they retired. My first Toledo was actually my granddad's.
Right.
9 years old, genuine 18,400 miles on the clock when I got it.
This one?
No, not this one, unfortunately. No, that was my first one. That was a four-door. But they didn't do motorways well.
No, but this one's got a rather bigger engine, hasn't it?
This one's got a 3.9 Rover at the moment, yeah.
So it's a Rover V8.
Rover V8.
Well, obviously it fits because I believe you, but it must have been a bit of a squeeze.
Yes, biggest problem is you drop a spanner down there and most of the time it doesn't fall out the bottom, so yeah.
Like a modern car, but that's because the under tray
well,
of a modern car.
That is true, yeah, it is very, very tight to get in there, sort of thing, yeah.
So what on earth made you decide to take a Triumph Toledo 1300 and put a 4-litre engine in it?
Well, it started out with my very first one, my granddad's car. I was at college down in Cirencester at the time. But it didn't do motorways very well. I'm trying to stick to sort of 80 mile an hour on the motorway with a 1300. They only did 82 miles an hour flat out, not through the block time. And so I was working in Berkshire at the time, and the car was by Birmingham somewhere, so my dad and a friend towed it back home off the motorway, and he went to the scrappies and he put a 1500 Triumph engine in because that's the first one they could find.
Oh, the big block.
The standard Toledo suspension is appallingly bad. It was far softer than the later Dolomites. The Dolomite 1300s are pretty similar apart from the rear panels, but the springs and the shockers are a lot softer.
Right.
And with the 1500 in, it was lethal.
Really?
So they're terrible.
It must have been pretty bad suspension.
To be fair, anything over 50 mile an hour in a straight line, they were dangerous. They were that bad.
Well, I hope you've done something to suspension.
Oh
on
god,
this.
yeah, all the suspensions got rated. I mean, what I ended up doing, this is back in 1982, was I went like Triumph tune with the people to go for then, and so it was springs, shockers, uprated rubber bushes, and I put a set of Dolomite Sprint alloys and some 185 tyres on it.
Yeah.
And the transformation was incredible. Then you go absolutely everywhere, full throttle.
Right.
And
so now it's time to break something else.
Yeah, well that's right. I ended up putting overdrive box in it because the 1500 engine don't like to rev, and having already blown up a 1300, I thought that'd be a good idea. But I was reading one of the custom car magazines, and somebody put a Rover V8 in a Ford Cortina Mark 1.
I'm sure several people did.
There were quite a few people, but it was a major hatchet job. All the inner wings have to come out and everything, and it's like, oh, I'd like to do something like that one day. And then I saw a Rover P6 advertised in somewhere down in Berkshire. I think it was in Reading, that's where it was. And it was 80 quid for this thing, and it's like temptation was too much, so I bought this thing and got it insured for a day and drove it back to Stafford again. Like, I spent 6 weeks of the summer holidays shoehorning this Rover engine into my first Toledo.
And when you say college, you weren't studying engineering, were
No,
you?
agricultural college.
Right.
It was a real bodgy installation, it really was. The exhaust, I was rapidly running out of time towards the end of it, and so
you had to get it back on the road.
Well, get it back on the road, so I've got to get back to college, and so like the exhaust was some 3-inch bore combine harvester exhaust. And
There's your agricultural bit.
Well, it was a side pipe as well, because I couldn't get that down with pipe round the axle, and the exhaust, it was not hugely loud, but it was to do with the length of the downpipes. Because of the packaging problems, I got one downpipe went all the way under the engine back up the other side, and the other downpipe was about so long, and it created this huge resonance.
Right.
And it was so much so that sometimes my parents would hear me coming home, and I'd just come off the motorway, it's 4 or 5 miles from here, and they said, oh, Neil's on his way back. And the lads I shared the house with at college, they said, like, they were always later up than me, and they just got it one morning, and we watched it. He said, watch the ashtray on Jeff's table, and it vibrated its way across the table, then fell onto the floor. And I used to drive through Cirencester town with, like, holding it in, because it's auto box, holding it in sort of second gear, at about 2,500 revs. You can actually see all the shop windows resonating. It was incredible.
So, moving forward to this car then, when did you build this one?
This one, I had this one 28 years.
Oh right, you've had it a long time.
I've had it a long time. I went through a big Dolomite and Toledo phase, and then I got into the TRs and the big saloons. Originally what happened was I ended up with the V8 in the first Toledo. I got to the point where I just wasn't really using them anymore, and it was the 3.9, it was for a daily driver, it was a bit extreme for wet weather.
Yeah.
I used it, because back in the days when we used to have to just tax our cars for 6 months during the summer, I'd use the Toledo during the winter and then not tax it during the summer. But I realised I'd driven it for 4 years as my daily driver and not used full throttle in 4 years.
Right.
And I thought, there's not much point in this. And so I took the engine out of it, sold it to a guy in the TR club who put it in his TR7 V8. And this sat at the back of the shed for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, maybe with no engine or box in it. And
so when you took the engine out of it, what were you planning on putting in its place?
Well, at the time,
you just weren't.
Well, I did at one point I bought a Dolomite Sprint, and it was an accident damaged one, and so I put a Sprint engine and gearbox in there, ran that for a couple of years, but I just missed having a V8. My TR at the time had a Stag engine, and I bought a Triumph Estate, and I was going to put the Stag engine in that, and I got an engine built for it, but the Estate was several years of restoration away, and I thought, Toledo, no engine, it'll go, and it did. But to be fair, the engine's cast iron block and it's a little bit heavier, and it was a bit of a disappointment. It made all the right noises, but it wasn't as terrifying as the Rover was. And so in the end, I finished my Estate, I put the V8 in that, and this sat at the back of the garage for quite a few years. And then I was looking to convert another of my Stag engines to fuel injection, and so I was looking on eBay trying to find myself a Rover Vitesse engine. And lo and behold, one popped up about 30 miles from here, and it was a twin plenum Vitesse engine. Well, I only wanted the injection system, but then when it's attached to the complete engine and the gearbox and the radio, it's got to go back in there again. And so it had this Rover Vitesse twin flame engine stuffed in there again, and that's the engine that's been in for a few years. I was making about 207 brake horse that made on the rolling road, I think. And then I decided it needed a new cam, so I ended up with a V8 Development Stealth cam in it. And I think I've got that one dyed out at about 260 brake horse.
Right.
But the lift of the cam I didn't realise was causing the push rods to catch the guide tubes on the cylinder head, and there was getting aluminium in the oil. Right. And I thought that something had gone seriously wrong with the engine, so I bought a 3.9 Discovery bottom end, dismantled all the engine to find out all it was the push rod guide tubes needed drilling out a bit bigger.
Right.
But having got the 3.9, it only needed a set of rings and bearings. It's a case of like, well, that's going back in again. I used the heads off the 3.5 because that had the machine for the extra valve lift, and like basically I just had them skimmed down a bit more to give it like 10.5 compression, the same as the previous engine.
So you've got the 3.9 litre Rover SD1 5-speed.
That's 5-speed box, yeah.
What's at the back?
Dolomite Sprint.
And that's strong enough, is it?
I rely on the fact that it's just like the tyres up rather than break the diff.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm sure it doesn't have much trouble doing that.
No, it doesn't.
I'd imagine in the wet, with the wheelbase this long.
In the wet, the wheelbase of it is, and with the 3.9, with the 3.5 wasn't too bad, but the 3.9 creates so much extra torque. In the wet, any speed, it's likely to let go. You have to be careful in the wet.
Well, I'm very pleased that it's dry today, Neil. Let's go for a drive and see how it handles in these conditions, shall we? Alfa Romeo seats?
Yeah.
This started out with what, 58 horsepower?
58 horsepower, yeah. I think it's probably about 270 at the moment.
That's more than 200 horsepower more.
A little bit more. Yeah.
I'm amazed the Dolomite axle's happy with it. I suppose it's not a lot of weight, is it?
No, but the main thing is, if you put all the power down, it will break it. Well, you definitely do a rolling start.
And a sliding start as well. That's quite lively, Neil.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah. I think it's one of the reasons I don't have a limited slip diff, because at least you've usually got one wheel that's gripping and pointing in the right direction.
Very much for the ride, and if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share, and have a think about joining us on Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You can't get a roll pin for your diff for that. Thanks very much, see you next time.
It doesn't hang about when it goes, does it?
Certainly doesn't, Neil. That's quite something.